place.
I don't think we've been here before.
Neat. Yeah, I don't know.
5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the fantastic Jupiter's Croc, not to be mistaken for Spartacast, which is probably another show that other people have done. My name is Matthew. Joining me tonight, once again, late, as always. I mean, I don't even know why we set a time anymore for these. Down there in Memphis is Ronan.
Yeah. It's not my fault. Not my fault.
It is because you have you choose to have a job that has these hours. So it is your fault.
I cannot control when I have to triple explain to a customer why it is their evaporator coil makes water.
And here in Lincoln, a Haley Lincoln tonight is Steve.
Yeah, this is the worst opening. Like, we should all be ashamed of ourselves.
Now, Steve, before we get into this, we were mentioning, I think on a previous, maybe it was a Fortnite episode we did, to Ronan how disgusting and terrible the weather is in Nebraska. How's the weather been today?
About 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the heat index was 117. It sucked.
Dew point of
awful.
80.
Yep.
And then it began to hail. So, fuck Nebraska and fuck its weather. Tonight, we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with episode 2 of season 2 of Spartacus Vengeance, A Place in This World. I'm just going to throw it right over to Plodicus. Take it away.
All right, well, you guys help me fill in the gaps here because, I watched this a week ago, planning to record a week ago, and then, fucking Ronan happened to us.
As did I, so Ronan will have to fill in the gaps.
Yeah, so fill in the gaps
So
for
you
us.
guys couldn't be bothered to rewatch it.
Because, see, here's the thing, we already watched it, and so it was
I watched it twice already.
Again.
I watched it twice.
Again.
I watched it with the audio commentary and once without. I wasn't going to watch it a third fucking time for you.
What's wrong with watching it a third
I watched
time?
this months ago, and then watched it again last week, and then Ronan fucked us. So anyways, Ronan, feel free to jump in and explain things when we inevitably miss things because you were late. Anyways, this is an Onomaus heavy episode. Which is great. Last time we recorded, I completely forgot that Onomaus was in episode 1. In my head, I rolled all of his scenes into this episode because he's such a big part of it, thankfully. But in episode 1, Onomaus refuses to join Spartacus, and Spartacus and Crixus ask Onomaus, "Where are you going?" And he says, "The only place for a person without honor," or something like that. And we learn in this episode that he went to the pits.
Back to the pits.
Back to the pits.
Where it all started
Ronan,
to
say
get
it.
good.
What's your favorite pit quote? Just hit us with it.
I wanted to make that joke, but they got rid of the guy who said it. It makes the pit so much worse with this weak jive-ass motherfucker.
This was your opportunity.
You
we
teed it up for
invited
him.
you to yell, and for once, you didn't fucking do it. Anyways, god damn it. We get a flashback. We get young Onomaus. And he's like a kid, I don't know, he looks like he's 12, maybe 13 or so, and he's in the pit fighting this grown man, and he's losing, but ends up turning it around, and kills the guy, and we see Titus, Badiatus' dad, is in the crowd watching, and then he goes to the, pit slave master or whatever, and he expresses interest in Onomaus. And they have this back and forth, and the slave master talks about how it's impossible to train him. You get better luck trying to train a wild dog. They start talking about price, and the slave master says 10 denarii, and Titus says 8. there's this great fucking line where the slave master's like, you pretend to be this honorable nobleman, but here you are trying to fuck me in the ass over the price, and Titus gets real close and real stern and tells him, if that's what I wanted, you would be split in half.
The writing on the show is amazing.
And the slave master kind of fumbles over his words and says something like, I'm going to give you a deal on him because I expect you to come back and buy more slaves. Who knows if that ever happened. Anyways, that's it for the scene. So now we see how Badiatus' dad came to purchase Oenomaus. And then we kind of see flash forwards where Oenomaus, I don't know, like, what... I remember in Season 1, when Spartacus was fighting in the pit, they, like, cover him with dust, and I don't know why that is, because only Spartacus and now Oenomaus seem to have had that happen to them.
Okay, I have something from that from the audio commentary. So the reason why, like, in the present day, he's all covered in kind of like this white chalk stuff is because they were trying to find a way to make it not obvious that he was one of the slaves that escaped and rebelled. So he was trying to hide himself. And originally, they were supposed to give him this like awesome bone helmet that just made him look cool. But then when he put it on, it didn't film right. It looked goofy. So they decided to put the caked white thing. But it was intended to make it harder for people to recognize him.
I figured it was probably some kind of a cultural thing.
Okay, well, I'm just telling you what the audio commentary said.
Was there any sort of explanation for why Spartacus was... I mean, Spartacus was a failed slave. The revolt hadn't happened.
I'm just telling you what the audio commentary said.
I know. I want to know why Spartacus needed to get it all dusty, but it doesn't matter. Anyways, cool. We flash back, it's kid Oenomaus, then we flash forward, and it's present-day Oenomaus, and Oenomaus basically wants to die. He's not willing to commit suicide, he's also not willing to throw a fight. What he is willing to do is fight over and over and over and over and over again until someone finally fucking kills him.
With honor.
We see Glaber, who has now moved in, he's fully moved into the Ludus, so now I guess it's the house of Glaber, and his buddy, whose name I still don't fucking know.
Marcus.
Marcus. All right, so there's going to be multiple Marcusi in this show. So Marcus tells him, hey, you know, we need men. You don't have enough to take on Spartacus. We need to, be buddies with Seppius. And Seppius and his sister Seppia, I think is her name, they were both in episode 1, but they did nothing. And so this is the first time Seppius really does anything of note. He and Glaber have like a back and forth. Badiatus. Glaber's trying to convince Seppius to, align with me. I know you're working with Varius or whatever that guy's name is, but come work with me, and together we will get Spartacus. And Seppius asks him, okay, well, who's going to get the glory? You know, who's going to get credit for killing Spartacus? Who's going to be in charge? And Glaber's like, oh, I promise you an honored position. You will only answer to me. And so Glaber's making some big fucking demands of the guy that he needs an army from. And so Seppius starts kind of shit-talking Glaber. Glaber gets upset and tells him, you talk to me that way again, and I'll have your fucking tongue. And Seppius says, but not my men. And so this partnership is not going to happen. Glaber gets upset. He's unhappy with things. And then Xena walks in and is like, hey, how about we kill a goat? And Glaber's... Glaber's
as you do.
Glaber
That's a completely normal thing to say. We've all said it at some point.
Yes, obviously.
I love
Glaber is... He's willing to try anything at this point, including, like, humoring Xena and her desire to have some sort of ritual to speak to the gods.
He's a little skeptical that she's, like, blessed by the gods at this point, if I remember right. He's a little skeptical.
Yeah, he's skeptical, but he's willing to use her.
Yeah.
He gets there really when somebody else shows up into the fray. That's when his skeptical. That's when he goes full skeptic mode. He gets a mute sidekick named Teller. And he becomes full skeptic at that point. But right now, I don't know how he's barely been there for like 2 days, and it seems like he's already hit absolute rock bottom. I'll never find him. Oh God, what am I gonna? He's already just completely given up, more or less.
Yeah.
I don't know. He gave up super quick.
He's not strong. He's not a strong leader, and everybody makes fun of him, and everyone pushes him around.
He thinks he's a strong leader. He thinks he's a badass. He is not.
He wants the position without having to earn it.
Yeah,
like to 100%. Do any work for it.
Anyway, so we see what Spartacus and Crixus are up to. They're their plan. Remember at the end of the last episode, Spartacus abandons his plans to just fight Glaber now. They're going to head south, and they're going to search for Navia and also free slaves, and also try to find slaves that can fight all at once. And so they take on they break in. I don't know what this place is. A villa? It's not a ludus.
Yeah, just some villa. Just some rich.
All right, they break
rich
into.
Roman.
They break into a rich Roman's villa in the middle of the Roman dominus getting some action from this very disinterested female slave, and then he requests some action from his body slave, who is a male slave named Tiberius at first.
Yeah. I mean, do as the
I
Romans
would
do.
finish place cock and ass.
Yeah. So Spartacus and Crixus break in. They free all the slaves, and then Crixus needs to have some words with the Dominus, and tells him, I know. He describes Navia and says, I know he passed through here. You were friends with Batiatus. What happened to Navia? And this Dominus confirms that he had fun with Navia and then sent her on her way. And so that's what's happening to Navia. Batiatus's plan was just like to present her as a present just to all of the influential rich Romans in the south. And so Crixus is not happy, kills the guy. They've taken over this villa. They're going to make it their base of operations for the foreseeable future. And then Spartacus starts trying to train all of this Dominus' slaves, including Tiberius. I don't know this character's name. Matt, do you know the female slave's name that ends up hooking up with Raskos? Does she have a name?
No, blonde chick. Yeah, it's blonde chick.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought it starts with an H, but I'll look it up.
Yeah, blonde chick. Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, this slave woman kind of starts worm-tonguing Mira's ear. It's like, oh,
instantly starts with the jabs.
She instantly starts shit, like making Mira question everything about her relationship with Spartacus, and she convinces Mira, or at least puts the thought in Mira's head that you're only fucking Spartacus because you have some sort of honored position in this group as Spartacus's lover. And then this woman immediately begins to try to find her own gladiator to fuck to get position. She ends up with Raskos, and Mira interrupts her at one point, and then the blonde slave says, I wanted to do this. I don't like Raskos, but basically my vagina is the only thing I have to offer anyone right now, and so I'm going to fuck one of the gladiators and hope that this gladiator protects me. I don't recall this blonde slave having a very impressive character arc, but the point is she shows up and starts whispering in Mira's ear, which causes Mira to kind of start questioning things. And Mira kind of thinks, or she tells Mira, you're sleeping with Spartacus with the hope that love is going to come, but love is not there. Anyways, I hated this character.
Chandra, that's her name.
Chandra, alright. That's the main thing I wanted to get out of this. This woman, this slave shows up, and it's just immediately awful and immediately starting shit, and I hate her.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Alright,
Want her to die.
Let's see. And I think she does, but not yet.
Spoilers. God.
Spartacus and Mira start having their time together. Tiberius tries to kill Spartacus, and Spartacus saves himself, and then everyone else is telling him to just kill Tiberius. Just end him. He tried to kill you. Let's not keep him around. I think Crixus or Agron 1 says something like, if a dog bites once, it's going to bite again.
No, that was the axe guy.
All right, well, whatever. The guy that was really into horrors in the last episode.
Yes, yeah.
Spartacus is like, no. If we kill him for not just immediately falling in line and following orders, then we're no better than the Romans. And so Spartacus kind of turns this guy into his pet project throughout the episode. Spartacus actually ends up like training him personally at one point in the episode. What happens? All I remember from here on is like the interactions between Spartacus and Nasir and Agron. Ronan, fill in the blank. What am I missing at this point?
At this point, let's see here. Yeah, like they start talking.
Wow. Jesus. You know, I'm just going to assume that after this, we probably flash back to Oenomaus.
Yeah, it goes back to the pit at this point.
Like,
Get to see Alithia take a nice hot bath.
yeah, she gets to take a bath, and she begins flashing back to her time with Spartacus. She has one of these slave girls give her a hand job before Glaber comes up and ruins everything. I watched this a week ago. Ronan, you watched this recently. It's your fault that we're struggling right now. What happens?
It's not my fault that you guys couldn't use all of your extra time to rewatch it.
Alithia shows up into the marketplace, and
they buy a goat.
Yes, the ritual happens. Alithia and Xena go to the marketplace to get.
This is
what
also
they
the
need.
point. Yeah, this is also the point where the Lucretia starts. People in the town start to think that she really has been blessed, and so she grabs like this little olive leaf or whatever it is, and starts tapping people on the head. May the gods bless you. May the gods bless you. May the gods bless you. And meanwhile,
there's a scene between Alithia and Xena and Sepia where Xena goes off to pretend to be this person blessed by the gods. Alithia and Sepia have a scene where Sepia is like, sure sucks to be pregnant and married. I'm glad that I'm awesome and single and unengaged. And Alithia started to get real down about her relationship with Glaber, and this absolutely did not help. As Xena is blessing people, this man in kind of like dark red robes shows up, and it seems like Xena recognizes him.
Now you guys are going to love this. Hold on, the man with the dark robes, the red robes actually. In the audio commentary, Stephen DeKnight said that was supposed to represent the Sith. So there we go, Star Wars reference right here in Spartacus from the creator. There you go. Just want to throw that in there for you guys.
Awful.
Yeah,
anyways,
I hate this show now. Let's do something else.
The not Sith.
This episode
the
is
not
over.
Sith hands Xena. Xena recognizes this person, or at least that's the impression we get from the face that she makes. But we, the audience, don't see who this person is. But this person hands her a note, and then later on, Oenomaus is in the pits. He is he's beaten everyone in front of him. He is like barely standing, and like the pit, organizer is like telling him, like, you can barely stand, like you're gonna fucking die soon. You're about to the point where anyone can beat you. But Oenomaus beats another guy, and he tells the slave master, like, send another man to fight me. And the slave master says, well, what about that other man's opponent? And Oenomaus says,
like, send him too
as well. Yeah, so Oenomaus is just taking all comers at this point, and he's fucking winning.
Badass.
But during the last fight, the man in red attacks.
There were some flashbacks in there that would give Oenomaus some more character growth.
Yeah, we'll talk about this in a second. Basically, the pit slave master gets killed. Oenomaus gets beat down and kidnapped by the same robed man that handed Xena the note. But like Ronan said, we get more flashbacks to Kid Oenomaus, and I don't think he fought in the arena, but it seems like maybe he was training in the Ludus and had a sparring match and won. And in response, Doctor, who I assume is still Boba Fett at this point in time, beat him because even though Oenomaus won, he wasn't following orders. And so Titus has a chat with young Oenomaus, and he tells Oenomaus that you've got to find your reason to fight, and it can't just be because I tell you to fight. You have to have a personal reason to to fight and put your heart in this and whatnot. Then to close this flashback storyline later on, we see what Anameus's what his purpose is. He gets the brand of Batiatus, so he is officially a gladiator now, and he and Titus are standing on the edge of the cliff by the Ludus, and they have a chat, and Titus says, the gods help anyone that stands against you in the arena, and Anameus says, I don't fight for the gods, I fight to honor the house of Batiatus, that is my purpose. And Titus is like, I am honored. Like, they have this, like, kind of bro moment, which looks like they genuinely care for each other.
Titus is too good for what happens
slave.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a slave master. I'm not going to call any of it what happens to him too good.
Well, this is kind of established also in Gods of the Arena, because Titus is really close to Anameus in Gods of the Arena.
Not enough to free him, not enough to not be a
correct.
Slave master.
No, you're 100% correct. I'm not saying it's right.
No, for the time period that, like, the historic, like, for the way they are representing this time period, he is incredibly progressive for the time period. Today, he would still be a monster.
This progressive.
But, like,
anyways,
he doesn't have the slaves just forcefully fuck people. He treats them like
that's
people.
True. So he's not as bad as Kid Batiatus.
Which is exactly what I was just saying. For the time period.
I threw away a straight. I'm very sad right now. Anyway, the point is, Titus and Anameus have a bond. Anameus is going to fight to honor the Ludus, and then he kind of sort of helped kill Batiatus and destroy the Ludus. So we have all of the backstory as to why Anameus is so fucking broken up about the loss of the Ludus. So that ties up Anameus' story for now. He gets kidnapped by the Man in Red. We see his flashbacks. What else happens? Ronan, fill in the blank. Fill in the blank. It's your fault.
What else happens is we cut back to the Ludus, where all of Glaber's men are, and they're getting a report. There are men coming in from the flashback. No, flashbacks to doesn't flashback there. This is the.
All right, I got it figured out. It's time to sacrifice a goat. It's time to sacrifice a fucking goat.
They sacrificed a goat. We also cut back to the villa that the gladiators have taken. Some of what's his name, Sextus. Some of his men are coming to the villa because they're just checking random villas, and the gladiators are like, oh shit, like they're coming in, we need to kill them all. And Spartacus, as he did historically, was like, no, let's just not like butcher these people, because if one of them gets away, we're fucked. We have to be smart. So they invite these guys in, and that's when Gnaeus.
Nasir? Is that his name?
Nasir, yeah.
Nasir?
He tells us what his name actually is. But yeah, that's when Nasir is like, okay, I'll play. Like, they know that I'm the body slave for this place, so I can lure them along. So, but unfortunately, these guys realize that he's no longer wearing his doggy collar, and they're like, and he realizes that, lures them in, and then the gladiators come and butcher them. You get the impression that, like, oh no, Nasir is about to betray them, and he doesn't, because he's kind of bought into their logic at this point. He's bought in with the revolution.
He saves Spartacus, right?
Yeah, he saves Spartacus.
Yeah. Crixus believes that he only saved Spartacus because he realized the Romans were going to lose. But we find out no. Yeah. Tiberius, who we learned his name is actually Nasir. No, he's actually, as Ronan said, he's actually bought in.
Then we cut back to the villa where they are killing a goat, and you hear a similar thing. Hey, there are men coming up the road with torches, as like during the goat killing phenomenon. And these guys, it turns out, it's the mysterious Man in Red.
Let's talk about the goat killing first, because we skipped over the goat killing, and we need to bring it back to that. So,
Lucy Lawless kills a goat.
Yeah, she kills a goat, and then nothing happens. And so,
remember, Alethea about kills her.
Yeah,
Alethea is about to slice her throat.
Right. Glaber sees the goat killing and is like, all right, this did nothing. This was a waste of my fucking time. and he orders Alithia to like clean her up. Like he's over this crazy Xena talking to the gods nonsense. Alithia is not going to clean her up. Alithia is actually going to kill her, and she's only stopped because a slave shows up and spots her. And then we hear, hey, there are men outside. We need to let them in. And then, as Ronan said, in comes the not Sith, who has captured Anameus.
Total
and
dark side.
Presents
so much cooler
Anameus
than
to
any Sith.
Glaber. And then the man in the robes reveals himself. And Ronan, who is it? Who is the man in the robes?
Motherfucking Asher. The greatest character
Asher.
in this whole season.
Darth Asher.
Fucking Asher.
Steve, how much money do you want to bet that Asher, given about 2 months in time, could con the fucking Emperor out of the whole Empire and take over? Because the Sith are fucking stupid.
In my headcanon now, Darth Asher is the one that told Emperor Palpatine to just announce that you're back. Announce that you're
It's
back.
totally
See,
valid, too,
that
because
works.
it's headcanon.
Yeah,
It's totally headcanon, so it's valid. And that still
that's
makes
fine.
Star Wars stupid.
It is valid. Do whatever you want,
Anyways,
Steve. There's no problem.
Darth Asher has captured Anameus, presents Anameus to Glaber, and then Xena shows up and is like, "Oh, look, my ritual worked. This is a sign from the gods that the gods support us. It was me killing the goat that brought Asher and Anameus to us." And then Xena and Asher share a look, and so like last episode, I've got the same question. Is Xena crazy, or is she scheming, or is it both? Last episode, she seemed crazy as fuck. This episode, obviously, she's going along with a plan that Asher has put in place. So which is it? Is it one, the other, or a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B? I don't fucking know, but that's how the episode ends. Nasir is officially one of the Brotherhood now. Asher has captured Anameus, and Glaber is planning on using Anameus to find where Spartacus is.
It was a cool episode. I really like this episode. A couple fun facts from the audio commentary. This was actually episode 3. And originally they were going to do 13 episodes for season 2, but their budget got slashed, so they had to cut it down to 10 episodes. And so episode 2 was just basically cut entirely. And so they threw this one in instead. Marcus, the dude who is with Glaber, there was supposed to be a whole storyline between Glaber and Marcus where we find out later on that they're basically like in an affair with one another. That all got chopped out because we lost 3 episodes. There's a great sequence when Anameus, when he's in the pit, he gets hit in the face with this giant fucking hammer. It's like like a Silent Hill or Resident Evil style hammer. It's just giant. Slow motion, smashes him in the face.
It looked like it should have killed him.
Yes,
but
and that's exactly what the Starz executives said when they saw that, and they demanded that it be cut out because they said nobody would be able to survive something like that. It's unbelievable. But Stephen DeKnight was basically like, "Yeah, but it looks cool." and they left it.
That's fair. That's a fair reply to the exec. I mean, first of all, he's an executive, so fuck him. And second of all, there's already been way too much unbelievable shit in this, in the previous, the prequel season and the first season.
Gut stabbing that is fatal or survivable, but depending on your place in the credits.
Yes. The more lines you have, the safer you are.
Way to describe them.
But yeah, I like this episode a lot. I loved sort of getting the backstory of Anameus, and another interesting thing that was in audio commentary, because Peter Menza was on this audio commentary, and he said the guy who played the young Anameus, this was his first role ever, and basically he basically said he called him every weekend and was like trying to get into the role and get into the character and stuff like that. So yeah, he was super cool. I think I looked him up, and I think he was in a couple little minor things after that, but I don't think he's acting anymore, which is a shame because he was really good.
Yeah.
I like this one.
Yeah, I need to look up and see what Peter Mintz has been up to. Like, hopefully he is still out there just being fucking awesome.
He is. There's something on Hulu I saw. Yeah. Some new movie on Hulu.
He was in 300. He was in the original Dead Space, but they recast and reanimated everything in the Dead Space remake. So his character is played by a different actor in the Dead Space remake.
Oh,
which
he
makes
was
me
in
sad.
Jason X. Clearly his greatest role.
Oh yeah, Peter Menz is great, absolutely great. He's
Several
even
episodes
better
of
in the next
Hercules.
episode.
He's
Yeah,
done
next
a lot.
episode is one of my favorites, which is why I was ready for Ronan to bring his A game last week, so we could have covered episode 2, because then I get to talk about episode 3 even faster, because episode 3 is great.
Ronan never
Piece of
brings
shit.
his A game. But Ronan, what do you think of this
I am
episode?
the A game. This episode was great.
In your
That
head
was good.
canon, yes. So
Yeah, which makes it completely which by your diseased ant brain logic makes it perfectly valid. See?
Ant brain logic
don't make me eat your lunch money, Ronan. I swear to God.
on Max Payne's Fury Road. No one gets
Okay,
that reference.
well,
but us.
man of few words. Steve, your thoughts on this episode?
Episode's fantastic. Onomaus is one of the greatest characters throughout the entire series, and so any time he is on screen, whether it's present day Onomaus or past Onomaus, it is a treat because he is so fucking good in this. This episode could have been nothing but Onomaus and Onomaus flashbacks, and I would have been perfectly fucking satisfied. Like what we got with Spartacus and Crixus and Nasir, and Glabria, it's all fine, but Onomaus is the star of this episode. It's fantastic. Loved it.
Okay. So yeah, so far, Vengeance is looking up. We'll roll into the next episode next week. The next one is what? What is it called? The Greater Good. One of Steve's favorite episodes of all time.
It's a good one.
Spoiler, yes, it's a good one. They're all going to be good from here on out. But we'll see how good it is. Stay tuned next Thursday for another episode of Jupiter's Croc. Spread cheeks, Ronan, and prepare for
Insert
ramming.
cock and ass.
You will be split in two.
Mongrel on mongrel!
Was that so fucking hard? That's Ronan, 19 minutes late to his fucking cue.
And cut. Okay, let me start a new broadcast.